Okay. All right. From what we read, we saw that for Jack Welch, the most important thing for him was his people. The strategy he used in achieving good business success is centered around his people. So to say, we can say the strategy is people-driven to a large extent. There is so much investment in the people. It took his time to know each and every one of his employees. Communication for him is key in ensuring that each and every one in the organization understands the objectives, the goals, the vision of the organization. It's important for you to ensure you communicate to the lowest level so that at the end of the day, everybody can work towards achieving the same goals at the same pace. That, and also the driving force for the business success in GE is the people. Without having good people around you, you can't do so much. You can invest so much in machines, in different things, but without investing in your people in order to harness whatever resources you put in place, you can't achieve so much. From what we saw, he ensures that he trains at different programs in order to drive home the point, what exactly the organization is pursuing at every point in time. It was said that there is one corporate event that he turned to leadership levels, where it will bring together the top managers to discuss the vision of the organization, the objectives that they are set to pursue, so that I can get the buy-in. Once those ones get back to their various locations, they will also do the same thing, cascading to their officers in order for everybody to be on the same page. So we all know what we are running after in order to achieve great results. Employee engagements. His employee engagements approach is top-notch. The way he goes all out to beat people, even though it was driving performance, at the same time, he gives so much value to people and family. What did you say?
Personal notes.
Yes. He writes notes to them to acknowledge good performance. He appreciates them, giving bonus, giving different things to encourage good performance. So, at the end of the day, he's able to drive productivity. And he also does something, or maybe he did something, which is flat office kind of environment where people go on first name basis, where people can easily, relate with even their superiors, where there is no hierarchy, so to say, where you can share your ideas with people that are up there and say, this is what I'm thinking, and then someone will listen to you, and if peradventure they find that idea to be useful, it would be for the good of the organization. He was also doing something which is worthy of emulation. He ensures at every point in time, he teaches the values of the organization, undiluted one. So as you are hearing from him, you are also hearing the same thing. You are hearing the same thing. So at the end of the day, everybody sits in and hears him speak. He challenges his subordinates and the employees of the organization. He rewards good performance, which will always make people to want to do more, even for those that are termed high performers. They always want to do more. Then he encouraged peer-to-peer transfer of ideas and success stories. An instance was cited of one manager who did exceedingly well, and then at the end of the day, even though when the project started, he wasn't, pushing so much, he was just doing his thing. But with the words of encouragement and, even trying to make him do more and more, requesting for the man to push and do more, he was able to do exceedingly above what he wanted him to do. I think a particular machine had the capacity to do 100 and above, but it was doing about 50, and then he challenged them. At the end of the day, they were doing 150, 200, meaning that performance can be driven with words of encouragement, and if need be, if you need to use the stick in driving it, you may have to do that. Even though he was termed as someone who is not patient with people, because when he wants to do something, he wants to get it done there and then. He doesn't use delay tactics or tries to what's that word now, when you procrastinate, that this is what we want to do. Once he's set to do something, he ensures that thing is done and he gets results. Yes. From what we read also, is someone that pays attention to details, is very interested in everything happening around within the organization, is interested in each and every one, how they are going about doing their businesses, because it's a chain of different business. He's interested in knowing how well you're doing your own, how well he's doing this, and he always organizes different fora where managers of different business will come together to share ideas and share knowledge. He ensures that the employees of the organization are properly remunerated at every point in time. He ensures they are well paid in order for them to, once you feel you are well paid, you can give in your very best. It's very practical. Once you know that your organization is mindful of you, you also want to give your best at every point in time, even if it is not so demanded. You know that you owe them that obligation if an organization pays well. We've said that he uses carrot and stick. For good performance, he gives bonuses, he does different things, he sends messages, words of encouragement and all that. And for bad ones also, he uses stick to correct, to ensure performance is increased. He takes decisions promptly. He doesn't leave things hanging. Once there's something to be done, it is done at that point in time without procrastinating or moving it forward and backward. He has the capacity to do that. And I would say that putting in quality efforts cut costs and reduces mistakes. It enhances productivity, which leads to greater market share and eliminates the need for investments in new plants and equipment. From what we have seen, driving good performance promotes productivity. Good employee engagement also, when you engage your workforce very well, you get the results from doing that. And any other thing? Confidence? Okay.
One thing that struck me very seriously was the fact that this guy does personal appraisal of his direct reports. I can tell you, if you go around the industry, most MDs don't even do appraisals. Probably they just tell the PA or whatever. That's if when they want to do. But this guy does appraisals personally. That's to show how detailed he is, because he also knows that performance is key for any organization to continue to exist. Okay, and I'm sure she has done a good work to this. But finally, for me, the guy is down to earth. They say your attitude will determine your altitude. Because of his down to earth nature, he was able to get Ghana people to support him at the end of the day. Of course, remember very well that when he joined, if he's speaking to people, about 60 to 70% of people will just be laughing at him or doing all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, he was somebody that could speak and people will be wanting to hear him say more because of his down-to-earth nature. Thank you.
Jack Welch and his approach and what made him the best manager of the century, and related to the way we do our process and our own leaders. And perhaps what gave him a good leverage was the fact that he wasn't born with a silver spoon and had to start his career from the scratch, so he knows what of trades and what of things at the lower level and how one could strive to greater heights. And comparing some of our CEOs, we had a CEO who was Harvard trained, speaks a lot of English, has a lot of swag, fine boy, and has a lot of principle, which theoretical principle, which obviously worked over the years, and not putting that down in any way. But you now have another CEO who has a HR background and who is into who is down to earth, that can talk, that can relate with you, who can do what do we call this on Friday now? TGIF. Laddie will not do TGIF. Not that he doesn't want to. His personality is just, so classy and speak and not political in any way. And once the books make it right, principles set out in books. He's a process person, very process different. Get the right processes, and we have the most documented and process I can say anywhere. Our process is very, very well documented and articulated, ISO certified, and things like that. And so you find out that Welch was not so much of process, and could relate with people, and that was what of reading this book. One was the fact that he was down to earth. Was a down-to-earth person. The first paragraph talks about him rolling off his sleeves, putting off his jacket, and then so he was down to earth and he could relate with anyone. Second, I said he employed coaching. He was involved in the training academy of his company, and then he will give himself out, not just speaking theory, practical. My life, what I did, how to do. He was involved. He put himself into it. He was a good coach. That's 2, 3. I'll say now there was a paragraph here that talks about. He sets a new contemporary paradigm for the corporation that is modeled for the 21st century, as well as innovation. You don't just do what has always been. Cultures are changing. Traditions, cultures are not cast on stone. It's the way of life of the people in a particular time. And when this is 21st century, businesses are not supposed to be done this way. He invented a new way of doing things, and that's one thing, strong point I learned. You don't just come and roll with the flow. You take the back seat and pause what's not going, and then you find new way of doing things. Innovation. Number 5. Now, how did he achieve these things? We saw that he has a forceful personality. He pushes you to do what you want to do. As forceful personality, he has a passion for winning. We want to be number 1 or 2, or nothing. That's a passion for me. We could get passive a lot of times. Okay, we are one of the best. We are one of the best. One of our slogans used to be the best place to work, and at the point it was faulted. Best is relative, and okay, let it be a great place to work. I'm not sure he would have changed that the best place to work because of he would have insisted it was the best place to work, and I've gotten. And then he had paid attention to detail. 6, he was very deliberately informal. Removing bureaucracy, it was deliberate about it. It has to be informal. Formality makes everybody put on this official attitude, which doesn't make you calm down. You have to drink your tea in a particular way, have to sit in a particular way, and he didn't do that. And it didn't make him less official or less CEO-ish. And then he just so he was able to get things done by being informal. 7, he got involved with the lowest level of management he could come down to. People that are not his direct reports. I remember a time when I was in entry level, and again group head wanted an explanation on something because it was something I did. Called my supervisor, who was maybe DMO manager at that time, and she couldn't explain because it was my stuff. So we had to go into his office together, and the guy will ask questions. My supervisor would talk to me. I would explain, but he wasn't looking at me. I was too junior for him to consider, and he would turn to my supervisor, and he would ask the question again, and then he would turn to me. I would answer, and he needs clarification of what I said. I would turn to my supervisor again. I felt very. I didn't like that. Anyway, so but if she could answer it, let her come, leave me alone now. Let her come and answer it by herself now. I'm answering you, want the clarification you are facing her. So it will come down to the level of it could go more than one level below, and that was said in more ways. Everybody counts. Yeah, you believe in everybody counts. That's still part of coming down to people's level. The winning formula is everybody must believe in their report. If you don't believe in people who report to you, then you cannot win. That was a very assertive statement. You can't win if you don't believe in people who report to you. All right. 8 said he believes there are no bounds to human creativity. You can achieve anything you want to achieve. So there is no problem that can be solved. There are no bounds to human creativity. And so when a leader works with you and you think there is this problem has been here for a long time, and it's because they've not thought through it. Think through it. You can have a solution. And when someone pushes you like that, then you are able to get more solutions. Like it had been said with the earlier team, where he got someone to do even more beyond capacity that the person would think he could. 8, it show and tell. Got people manager from different industries to share their success story, and able to get ideas from a service company to manufacturing companies and leadership ideas, and it helps. 9, always gunning for more. Don't get satisfied. Yeah, we are successful, we have gotten this, then we can do more. Always gunning for more. 10, knowledge management. We saw where he did videos and sends even written notes to everybody, getting personal with them and impacting knowledge onto them. And the manager, his first line manager, will read, impact into their own next line, get the videos, and then he kept on disseminating knowledge. So a good CEO would impact knowledge, not just him himself reading out the ideas, but giving others, showing them how to do it. I had a wow moment here where he had to, when people say bad things about leaders, of course everybody gets criticized, and there's a tendency to not, that's a business and don't do anything about it. So but when he gets criticized and he understands, he has a lot of self-awareness, and so I remember when I was asked to come take a talk in my dad's Bible study group then. It's someone I get fidgety around, and even now when he says sit, I say sit. So I don't go around him a lot, but we're not friends. I didn't so I was asked to come give a talk, and he was going to be around, so that I can reduce the pressure. I said, well, again, I've also my dad is around, So if I get nervous, please don't permit me. So they had to mandate the president had come out. Please, Mr. DME, you are not permitted to talk here. So I had to do that to reduce pressure, and it helped. So he kept quiet throughout. I delivered my paper, and I got some accolades, and he was impressed too. Anyway, so with the guy that was fidgety and shaking because he had to impress his wife, and whether or not the guy did well, he knew he had to do something about the wife. So I'm not sure the guy did well, but he had to make him not get in trouble at home, and he had to make him look good. And that's considering them beyond office, beyond the workspace. 12, he influences his direct report, who also influenced others. As people that read Bible knows that Psalm 123 say, "How good, no, all these are the how good and marvelous is it blend together in unity." He says like the oil on the head of Aaron that flows from his head to the beard to the skirt of his garment. So like the anointing comes from the head and goes like this. So it impact is the direct reports, the impact, and then it says something from the top. The last person hears it because it flows. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.
I think because we're the last group, there's no point repeating some of what you said. So, okay, I will take a different angle then in our own presentation. And please, Gabriel, feel free to chip in either during or at the end of it because it's joint work. So, Welch was a great leader. How did he do it? There are 5 points that were highlighted. The force of his personality, his unbridled passion for winning, and that showed throughout the document, throughout the presentation, and how he kept driving for excellence and driving performance. His attention to details, which, as they mentioned, is not very common amongst leaders. So his attention to tiny details, which sometimes is overlooked by CEOs and leaders. His candor, and he encouraged that candor across the organization also, and power of his knowledge or his appreciation of the power of his people. I'd like to highlight on that power of his people and then also relate it to what happened in our own organization. But before I go into that, there are a few activities that they were doing at GE, which we can also relate to what we're currently doing with our new CEO. So the top 500, the monthly meeting, we have something similar, but ours is called top 80, and where the senior managers meet to discuss about issues. What we can pick out from how they ran their own was the way the cascade was done. The cascade is so detailed down to the bottom level that the message, because they said they play a video, which means that the same message, so even if me communicating, I might not say it exactly the way he said it, but watching that video play down to the lowest level means that even if the leader misses it out, watching the video, you'll still get it directly from the horse's mouth. So I think that's one of the things that we picked out of there. There was also the 6 Sigma. We also started something similar, green belt, black belt training. We started it last year or so, and green belt, I think. And sometime this year, we had a forum where all the different functions came out to say the efficiencies that have come out from all those programs. Appraisal. So he was also very detailed in his performance appraisal for his leaders. And in the 4 years I've done my role as performance managing manager across the 3 different CEOs that I've worked with, I've noticed that maybe it's a Heineken culture, but when it comes to appraisal of their direct reports, they're very detailed. So I was happy to see that we're also in line with what he's doing. He was a firm leader, but the balance, there's somewhere where he mentioned about finding the balance. Leadership is about being in between. So he could balance between being a very firm leader, sometimes being impatient, as he said, but also being humane in his approach to dealing with people. And there are several examples which you've mentioned in the 2 groups, the flowers, the notes, and all that. And I think that's something we can also take away in our organizations if we had that approach to just being more humane. Even we as HR, not even talk of the CEOs, but even as HR, just finding time to ask, how are you? How's your family? And I notice people appreciate that. You'll be surprised, even the security. They take those little things, and it's not about giving them money. Sometimes about that madam knows, say, my child, knows about my predicament. So I think even not just as a CEO, but as HR people, we can also take that. He's also hands-on. So with our own new CEO, we've noticed he's very hands-on. His first month he dedicated to meeting with all the MT-1. He gave all of them, and we have 70 something. So when he first came and he said, he wants to meet with all of them, 30 minutes, we all thought, this man has time. It's not possible. But he did it. 30 minutes with all the 70 something MT-1 spread across a month or two. And the feedback our own boss gave us, he would make detailed notes on everything that was said. He asked them, what's going on, what's working well. So I guess we're also, good with that in being hands-on. And he's done a lot of sales visits, probably more sales visits than even senior managers who have been in the business for a long time have done. So I go back to the power of his people. And some of the things that we can adopt in our own organization is the informality. And he talks about how just being informal goes a long way. Slowly, I think we're getting there with our dress culture. We've taken off the tie. I don't know, Mr. Paul, I know when you used to come, everybody's always wearing tie. But now, it's not mandatory anymore. But that's just first level of breaking that informality. So he talked about the importance of being informality, and that's violating chains of command, and communicating across layers, breaking silos. I think we can learn a lot from that, because we have a lot of silo mentality, a lot of hierarchy. Maybe it's the Nigerian culture as well, where everyone just I can't talk. Like you said, the man was talking, questioning you, but looking at the woman. So that informality, and also informality where your director can call you and ask you a question without going through your boss, if it's something you're working on. And then also the last point is creativity. And he said every person counts, as I quote. Tapping into the well of creativity goes back to knowing the importance and the power of people, and understanding that power of people. So I think we can also adopt that in our own organization, and understanding or appreciating the power of having such a diverse workforce, different generations. So people who have been in the business for a long time, people who have just come in, and just the wealth of creativity that we have in our organization, and appreciate that and know how to tap into that well. Gabriel, I don't know if you want to add.